Even as it moves forward with yet another plan to attack that leaking oil well in the Gulf of Mexico, BP is acknowledging that even if successful, its latest gambit probably won't stop all of the oil. The effort to now affix a funnel-like device over the leak is expected to start early this week and comes after the once promising top kill approach was declared a failure this weekend. Rarely have we reported a catastrophe that after 41 days is still growing. But today, a top Obama administration advisor told NBC News this may be the biggest environmental disaster this country has ever faced. And tonight, there's something more to worry about: long-term health consequences. We have a team of correspondents around the country covering the implications and fallout from all this and the shrinking options to cap the leak. NBC's chief environmental affairs correspondent Ann Thompson starts us off in Venice, Louisiana. Ann, good evening.
Good evening, Lester. The White House says BP's next attempt to cut off the flow of oil could come tomorrow or Tuesday. But this try at a containment cap comes with a very big risk that the amount of oil going into the Gulf could increase by 20% until the new device is installed.
This is the center of despair for Louisiana, the still leaking well 40 miles from its coast and a mile under the sea. A well many now fear will gush long into the summer. Today in Venice, BP's CEO apologized.
We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And, there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back.
There is growing concern that lives here will never be the same because the waters where so many earn a living could be ruined for years. The preliminary government estimate puts the flow of oil from BP's well at 12 to 19,000 barrels a day. But one scientist who worked on that calculation says even that may be too low.
This reservoir, this well, could flow 100,000 barrels per day or more, worst case scenario, and it could do it for decades before it ran out. This is a scenario that would coat the coastline from the Keys to Cuba to Texas with an unimaginable amount of oil.
To keep that from happening, BP will now turn to a cap called the Lower Marine Riser Package. This week, crews will use remote-operated vehicles to make a clean cut in the leaking pipe on top of the blowout preventer and then place the cap on top. If it works, the oil will be suctioned to the surface.
I think we feel confident that the production process will work because we demonstrated that with the riser insertion tool. What we are less sure of is how much of the volume will be captured by it.
This is the latest step in a real-life science experiment to find a quick way to plug the leak.
Think of a fire hydrant that's out of control. Every time you try to cap it, every time you try to smother it, stuff it, it simply blows back. That's the problem. That's the reason why they can't get a handle on this crisis.
And now another looming threat could further delay killing the well. Hurricane season. It begins Tuesday.
Hurricanes have the probability and the potential to ramp this thing up to 11 on a scale of 10.
Now, people here say the difference between a hurricane and the oil spill is simply this: you can prepare for a hurricane and you can rebuild from a hurricane. But with this oil spill, all they can do is watch and wait. Lester?
And almost in the beginning of this crisis, we were told that a relief well would be the answer. I know they've been working on that. How close are they to having that functional?
Well, they are drilling 2 relief wells. The first one is actually ahead of schedule, Lester, and it's maybe the only thing that seems to be going right in this crisis. It is 10 days ahead of schedule, and if they can keep doing it consistently, that means that relief well could be in place by the end of July. But then they have to hit the spot exactly and put a cement plug in there, so there is a high degree of difficulty with that technique as well.
Ann Thompson tonight in Venice. Thank you.